Good morning. Good morning. It's Friday, April 10th, and you're joining us live for Liberty University's Convocation. When we think about this pandemic through a global lens, one nation that seems to come to mind is obviously Italy. Just a few weeks ago, the whole world was watching and hearing about how this pandemic had affected Italy at such a great capacity. We heard about the thousands of lives that were lost, the elderly who were waiting on ventilators, and we even heard about stories of the church thriving and ministering in the middle of all that was happening. One story that I heard about was a Catholic priest who was positive with COVID-19, who voluntarily gave up his own ventilator to a younger person who needed it, only to find himself come to the end of his life in a few days. And so we wanted today to do something a little bit different by connecting with two missional leaders in Italy so that we could hear from them what God has been doing in and through their work there. They don't have the notoriety of a Francis Chan or the following of someone like a Louis Giglio, but God is using them in a great way in their local capacity. And so we wanted to sit down with them and learn about what God has been not only doing through them, but teaching them in their own faith. Let's watch this together. Hey, so Antonella and Davide, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We are talking to you while you are in the nation of Italy, a place that has been just the whole world has been watching, has been hit so hard with this, pandemic. And so we wanted to hear from some of the ministers on the front line there that God is using in Italy. So thanks for being a part of this. Before we get going, tell us a little bit about your work there. I know that Antonella, you and Leo are well-known worship pastors, musicians there. And Davide, you are a pastor of Vive Church there, a church plant, from the United States. And so before we talk about all the things that are happening at this moment through the pandemic, tell us a little bit about your work. Davide, tell us about Vive Church.
Yes, we are part of a church that is based out of San Francisco with our pastors Adams and Kira Smallcomb, and we just planted a church in Rome 2 years ago, and last year decided to plant a church in Milan, and actually are planning other churches around Italy. And so it's fairly new, but we're seeing having an impact in our nation, and we're pretty much planting churches, building up leaders, doing this every day.
That's awesome. And what about you, Antonella? How are you guys doing?
We are in the north part of Italy, and with my husband, we work in the Italian music ministries. And our passion, we use music as a vehicle for mission. We use music to preach the gospel to people, because we see in Italy that when you talk about music, you listen to music, people are more open to hear about the gospel. So it's easy to preach. Even if you think it's a Christian country because of the Catholic Church, people are not very open to hear about the gospel. So music is a great vehicle, and we use that. And we also, our mission is to write songs, but also translate songs from America. They are richly Christ-centered and with solid theology. So this is our, we live every day, our everyday life, writing songs, singing, working with also other Italian musicians like Davide. We did many things during the last years. So this is our ministry here.
It's so great the way the Lord's using you. You are in Lombardy, right? Where it's the hotbed of so much of what we've been hearing around the world. Tell us how it's going there, and tell us about your experience.
Wow, it's incredible to see how in a month, about a month, I would say that 40 days ago, I would never thought we would have been arriving at this point. Is a really dramatic situation. And it's been very hard for us because in terms of victims, in terms of losses, in terms of long-term consequences for the economy, many people just lost their incomes. And many people died, as you said, and as you heard from the news. And our daily life is completely changed. Everything is uncertain here. And our only hope is that God is certain. His promises are certain. And he is the one who will never change. But living here in Lombardy, which is considered the red zone in Italy, is very, very hard because of all this situation and consequences of the coronavirus. Even the situation in the hospitals is really critical. You say it's very, very difficult. We have many friends, nurses and doctors that are telling stories that we would have never imagined to live here. But now it's like we are at the end, not at the end, but we don't have a great number of deaths every day. It's like we are already at the peak of the situation, as they say, but it's still very, very difficult. Our daily life has completely changed. And can you imagine also as Italians that we are very physical, that we have to stay at home. Our relationships with the others has changed. We cannot live the church life as normal. So then we have lived a very difficult situation.
Yeah.
And lately, this last month.
Davide, you're not gathering on Sundays, right now?
No, we're not gathering on Sundays, and this is pretty crazy for us in Italy. Most of our churches in Italy are not super, let's say, forward and know how to do things online. We're not the best.
Yeah.
Pretty much behind, but it's been amazing. We, as I said before, being a church, we're a global church, but we want to build locally, and it's been crazy how our vision of this year, of 2020 vision, was to start actually a broadcast. We wanted to start this year and improve and get it to go, but it's actually been so prophetic because we're starting it right now. It's been so useful. So everything's online, and we've been reaching way more people than we usually physically do. But not meeting is super crazy for our country. We are super relational, and we love to hug each other. We even kiss both cheeks, So it's pretty crazy. But we are using this time. Many think that it's a time just to rest. We think it's a time to reset the church instead of only resting. And so we're resetting and looking for new strategies to find people. We want to see people awakened by the reality of Jesus. This is our mission. So.
Yeah, you both just mentioned just the Italian culture, ironically, is the perfect kind of place for a virus to be more contagious because people are so warm and so touchy, and you do kiss on the cheek. Yeah. The Spanish culture is the same. The Iranian Middle Eastern culture is the same, which is where we're seeing a lot of these hotbeds of this. And also your culture seems to really not put the elderly as much in the fringe. The elderly seem to be a lot more invested in the very center of family life. And so talk to us about just, again, the irony of that. And that certainly doesn't want to be something that you remedy by pushing the elderly to the side or not. So how do you socially distance without culturally letting that hijack the very thing that makes your culture so warm and so inviting?
Yeah. Well, I have to say that this is a great point here. Elderly people, we maybe even didn't realize that elderly people are so in the societies. We are all in the families. For example, we live upstairs with my husband and my daughter, and my mother lives downstairs in another apartment. So we are close to each other. And it's so difficult to see now all the grandchildren that has to be separated from their grandparents to preserve their health. But in some kind of way, we realized what we didn't realize, that we are going back to essentials and really thanking God for the family, for the relationship in the family. And even if we are set aside, we are apart from each other, people are making a lot of questions about God, because fears of death, of being isolated, of being also to die alone, because in the hospitals, people are dying alone. They cannot see their parents, their dear ones. So in this situation, really God is at work, and we have a great opportunity to be lights in the darkness, and we can talk about the family of God and how can we be close to each other even if we are physically distant. It has not been easy, because for people to let them understand that isolation was important for the health, for the good of those like elderly people or physically people that are not in health. It was difficult, but it was important. It's important, and that's what we can say to you. Also, be careful. Learn from what we maybe at the beginning didn't understand properly, because it's important to learn from history, important to listen to what others lived and learn to not make the same mistakes.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yep. I think your question is very interesting. I feel like we don't even know yet the answer, like to what. Because right now we are in our house, we cannot get out, like literally not even walk around the house. You can only go to grocery store to buy with a paper that tells you that you can, otherwise you cannot even get out. So it's going to be really interesting to understand how to figure out a way to keep the social distance and to still include everyone, because obviously we want to always be inclusive and never exclusive. So it's going to be hot. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think even here in the United States, we're all discovering, in one sense, the new normal. You know, I kind of don't like that term, but it is what it is. We're all learning how to maybe compensate, and replace some of the things that we can't do with some of the things that we haven't been doing but can do, so we can get more creative. And so maybe we can write letters more. We can be more intentional in the way that we do go to our windows and sing. And we've been seeing a lot of that in Italy, people just coming to their windows and singing. Have you guys been doing that as musicians?
Yes, I did it.
What is that like? What's happening? Tell us about that.
Yeah. Davide, you want to say?
I would say that the first couple weeks were more interesting because we all thought it was going to be only a couple weeks, So many fun stuff was happening, singing on the balcony. Now it's all changed, but it's not happening that much anymore. But yes, we have been singing on our balconies and singing songs. We had a one day where everyone at 7 p.m. where all the Christians were singing like Alleluia. But yes, I've been singing.
Have you seen a unity between just the Protestant church and the Catholic church there? Or has it been kind of business as usual in one sense? Has God used this to unite the church in Italy, despite maybe some secondary differences?
I would... Okay, I'll go. I would say it's an interesting question as well, because already inside the Protestant church, we need unity.
Yes, exactly.
So I think we're a step behind. We're a step behind what you just asked us. We are learning how to be united within the church. That could be strange, but it's our reality. I mean, this being vulnerable, this is the reality, and it's been working. We've had a lot of unity between between different churches and different denominations, something that we've not experienced much in Italy. I personally haven't had much connections with the Catholic Church. There's a very huge separation for sure.
Yeah, I agree with Davide. I think the same. And I would say that within the Protestant church, we need unity. And it's interesting to see how things changed in these weeks. Like he said, the first weeks, we were all like, what's going on? We had this hope. Then when we realized that people, the number was increasing, it became everything scary. And but I think that also how the churches have worked during this year, now is the time to see what it comes out, because now Christians are alone in their homes, and their personal faith, their personal relationship with God, their time with God, alone with God is coming. I mean, you are not in the church with all the events, all this conference. We are alone in the home with our families. So it's a very interesting time. And it's like you see what you sow. You sow the seed you put during the year, the plants that are coming out. So we don't know, but we are learning day by day all these things. But for sure, we need unity. And for sure, the God of wonders wants to do something in this case. At least I'm talking about the Protestant church, because for sure, between Protestant church and Catholic church, as for us here, me and my husband, we are not. We don't know exactly.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it was certainly the prayer of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. His very last prayer for us is that we would be one, that we could do together what we could never do alone. And it's interesting to hear how in the very beginnings of this, there in your part of the world, there was this sentimentality and people were just kind of cheering each other on and going to the window. Yeah. And now it's kind of setting in. And so you're certainly a few weeks ahead of us here in the United States. And so what advice would you give us? Those of us who, you're starting to see your curve flatten. That's what the reports are saying. We're being told that it's about to get a lot worse before it gets better. And so as we're being told that, by our leaders and officials, what advice would you give us as we're kind of gearing up and preparing for what seems to be some of our biggest numbers of rise here in the United States?
What I could say is, for sure, in a practical ways, try to follow what the government says. Look what happened in other countries. To be isolated helps, because the less contacts you have, the less possibility you have to infect others or get infected. And as believers, what I could say, what helped my husband and me during this time, because it's very difficult for us also, because my husband lost his job, because to sustain us in the music ministry, my husband had to work. So everything closed down at the very beginning. So it's really, we are dependent on God. And what helped us is to remember as well to preach the gospel to ourselves every day, and to remember that it's not about to get out of the boat. It's like, this is the storm with the disciples, Jesus. And it's like, we have to get out of the storm. We have to get out of this boat, but it's to get Jesus in the boat and trust him, weep, trust him, weep, and preach that every day. And remember that God doesn't change. So for you is to trust him, and remember also that the end of this journey is not coronavirus, but is Jesus, is our eternal home. And that encourages.
That's so good.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yep. I would say practically, just take it as serious as you can, because in my personal experience was that in the beginning I wasn't really realizing what was happening, and many people weren't realizing. I would say. Don't go on asking yourself why, but say, even just in your prayers, just say, hey God, how can you use this situation, and use it to reinvent yourself. It's gonna be a few weeks, probably. At least we've lived. They told us it was 2 weeks, and now it's been a month and a few days, and now they're saying another month. So it's gonna take a while. This is gonna be just a huge opportunity to reinvent ourselves in anything we do, and for sure, practically, just stay home.
Yeah, I keep hearing from you, like, take seriously what you've been taught and by authorities. Push through this. Quit asking why and look to who, the one who sustains us.
Yeah.
Hey, so both of you are just worship pastors, and music is a big part of your ministry at Vive Church. And then, of course, you and Leo, Antonella, are just, music is really what drives so much of the mission of what you do. In this season, what is a song that God has really put on your heart? Or what is, maybe even not something that you yourself have written, but what is a song that you keep preaching to yourself?
One of the songs that every month I have a different song that I write in my kitchen. So every week I change verse or chorus. So all the family goes in and sing it and remember. And the song that I chose before the coronavirus arrived here in Italy was Yet Not I by Through Christ in Me by City Light, which is a beautiful hymn, modern hymn. And there's a verse that I like that says, with every breath I long to follow Jesus. And thinking at the virus, you die with this virus that takes away your breath. And I thought, we have breath every day. And with every breath we want to follow Jesus. And it was like an engagement that I have again with my God, to talk about him, to preach the gospel to myself first.
Amen.
And then to others. So this song, and if you have a possibility in the next day, please listen to this hymn, which is beautiful.
Say a verse of it for us in Italian, if you don't mind.
A verse of this song, we don't have it in Italian.
Oh, you're translating it then?
Yes.
That's awesome.
So it's not ready yet. Yeah.
We'll have to have you maybe come here and lead it in Italian for us.
That would be great.
That would be fun.
that would be great.
What about you, Davide?
In this time, I would say one of the songs that actually my church just came out with is a single. It's called Ti Loderò. In English, it's with everything, like everything. We sing in this song is that with everything we have, we're gonna sing and praise and worship. And it's one thing to worship when everything goes well. It's one thing to worship in times like this. And so this is what we're learning, to worship in every season, and to just worship God, because he's the same in every season. And we want to have our convictions, model our situations, and not have our situations model our convictions, what we trust, what we believe. So we want to just remind ourselves, with everything, we're going to worship you.
Amen. Well, we love both of you and are so thankful for your ministries there. And I did want to tell you, I know it won't even get close to all the expenses that you have every month, but we want to sow a seed into both of your ministries. And so here at Liberty University, we're going to send just a support check, a small one, but of $1,000 for each one of your churches there. We're so grateful.
Thank you so much.
Keep being a bright light. Keep just, pushing through. It sounds like God's using you in such powerful ways. Know that you're not alone. All right? It's not just the church in San Francisco, Davide, that's like your partner, man. Here in Virginia, you're going to have thousands of college students cheering you on. We stand with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we are praying for you too.
Thank you. We need
because we are one family in God. So
Amen.
We pray for you too.
We serve such a global God, and none of this is a surprise to him. And so, Ciao.
Ciao.
It's the only Italian I know.
Grazie. Ciao.
So thankful for Pastor Antonella, her husband Leo, and Pastor Davide of Vive Church. God is obviously using them in a great way in Italy. We wanted to end our time this morning by singing together the song Yes, I Will by Vertical Church. It's actually led on the album by our own Judd Harris.
I count on one thing, the same God that never fails, will not fail me now. You won't fail me now in the waiting. The same God who's never late is working all things out. You're working all things out. And yes, I will lift you high in the lowest valley. Yes, I will bless your name. Oh yes, I will sing for joy when my heart is heavy all my days. Oh yes, I will. Oh yes, I will. I count on one thing. Oh, the same God that never fails will not fail me now. And you won't fail me now in the waiting. Oh, the same God who's never late is working all things out. You're working all things out. Oh yes, I will lift you high in the lowest valley. Yes, I will bless your name. Oh yes, I will sing for joy when my heart is heavy all my days. Oh yes, I will for all my days. Oh yes, I will, and I choose to praise, to glorify the name of all names that nothing can stand against. And I choose to praise, to glorify the name of all names that nothing can stand against. Oh yes, I will lift you high in the lowest valley. Yes, I will bless your name. Oh yes, I will sing for joy when my heart is heavy all my days. Oh yes, I will for all my days. Oh yes, I will for all my days. Yes, I will.
Thanks again for being a part of today's Convocation. I want to invite you to join us next week, next Wednesday and next Friday at 10:30 Eastern Time for 2 more convocations that I believe will impact you greatly. See you then.